My name's Destiny. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is pretty new for me. I'm not really used to sitting here talking in front of a camera or hearing my voice on camera. I don't like how I sound on camera sometimes, but I'm gonna see how this turns out. A little bit about myself. My name's Destiny. I'm 25 years old. I'm a nursing student, so I will probably be making a lot of nursing related content, nursing related videos, lifestyle stuff, health fitness stuff, kind of just a day in my life. So just some more background on me. I was born and raised in North Carolina. I started at North Carolina Central University. Yeah. My freshman year, straight out of high school in 2028. I did my whole entire freshman year there. I left after a year due to some stuff going on in my life at the time. I'll save that for another video. And went back home. I was very sad about that choice, but it is what it is. I decided to go to my local community college and do like the Associates in Arts program with the intent to transfer back to a 4-year. I was going back to Central. That was my home. So that was the initial plan. However, started having some troubles with that, you know, it was completely my fault. I wasn't focused, wasn't getting the grades I needed to get. So that was like what, 2019. And then by the time I was ready to focus, COVID hit in 2020. Everything switched to online, and I am not an online girly when it comes to school. I have to be in the classroom because I can't focus. I have ADD. I need to be like physically in the classroom. If I'm at home, it's just not gonna go down. So my grades started to suffer when COVID hit because of it being online. But then I started dealing with some mental health stuff during that year too that got it got very, very severe in terms of anxiety and depression. I mean, I'm talking, I could not even walk out of my house without having an anxiety attack. Had to do therapy and all. Went to the hospital and all to get myself calm. So it was a rough year for me. You know, a lot of stuff happened in between that, you know, just from going back home, period, in 2020. So my grades suffered. I failed a lot of my prereqs at the time. And I actually decided, instead of doing like my gen ed courses at my community college and going back to Central, I just decided to do their associates program in nursing. With the intent to do like that and do my RN to BSN at a later time, of course, at Central. Yeah, that's just what it is. So that's what I decided to do. So I switched to that kind of situation, and I started taking the remaining classes I needed in order to apply for the associates in nursing degree, which was like a few more courses. By that time I was a little bit more focused, and my mental health stuff I was coping a little bit better with it. However, I still was not completely focused. So this was probably about the end of 2020 into 2021. A lot happened in 2021. Again, I'll talk about that in another video. I was having issues at home. I was in a relationship, you know, I was trying to get my life together, money, transportation, a lot was going on. So I was still a little distracted. I didn't pass some classes again, had to retake some classes again. And I did take a break for a little bit from taking classes. So between 2021 and honestly 2023 was a whole struggle. I'd taken classes here and there, on and off, took a break during that time. When 2023 came around, I know that's a big jump. I took I retook some of my prereqs. I passed them, not with the grade I wanted, but I passed them. And yeah, there's that. But to back up a little bit, because I just did a big jump, sorry. I'm so sorry if you're having a hard time following me. I have like ADD and my brain just cannot. I'm gonna do better at it. Next time I'm gonna have notes so I can go in order. But to back up a little bit, I applied for the actual nursing program at my community college for the first time in 2021. I didn't get in. I didn't have enough points, so but I wasn't within that range. I was below it, so I didn't get in. I was very disappointed. They told me that, you know, I was close to it, so they just told me to retake my T's and that should be fine. That's what I did, but my study was, I had stuff going on, and I'm gonna say that a lot. I'm not gonna talk about it too much now. So I studied a little bit, but not enough. Didn't really get the points I needed from the T's test, but I still applied anyway. And I did not get in the second time either, so I was very disappointed. The second time I applied, I didn't get in. However, I did get into the LPN program. I didn't apply to it, but I guess I had enough points to do it. So they were basically like, hey, we know you didn't get into the RN program, but you have enough points for the LPN program, you can come to orientation. I went to the orientation. I was contemplating on whether or not I should do it, but it's like at the time I didn't know much about LPNs, so I wasn't really excited about it. And everybody that I had talked to was basically telling me, oh, the LPNs, you can't really do anything, you'll have to work in long-term care, they're basically glorified CNAs, just do your RN. So that's, I didn't end up going through with the program. And just to say this, LPNs are very much nurses. Like, I know there are some things they can't do that an RN can do, but they are very much nurses. Like, I've seen LPNs that work in a hospital setting, and she did pretty much everything the RNs would do, you know, plus or minus a couple things. But yeah, I didn't know that at the time, so I didn't end up doing it. I just said, okay, I'm gonna take my T's test again and retake whatever classes I need to take. Here's toaster strudel. So that's what I did. I started retaking classes, and by that time it was 2023. A lot happened in 2023 onward to present day that affected school again. I retook some classes. I didn't get the grades I want, but I passed. I was aiming to get any class I took, get down, bud. Any classes I took, I was trying to get like a B or higher. So if I would get a C, I'd be like, oh my gosh. So I retook a lot of classes. And most of the classes I had B's or higher. It was just one class that I got a C in, and that was micro. And I just settled for it because at my school, they only had 2 instructors that taught it. And I had both instructors when I took it previously, and their teaching style just doesn't click with how I learned. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just take the C. Everything else is good, and I'll just take my T's and be fine. However, the T's didn't cause a big jump in my points, so I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm still gonna apply because why not? But I wasn't very confident the third time when I applied either. I was like, man, I don't think I'm gonna get in, but I still applied. And I had found out early 2024 that I was actually accepted as an alternate for the nursing program, which just basically means that it's not a yes, but it's not a no. So basically, if a spot becomes available and my number is up next, then I get in. So I still had to go through orientation and do everything just in case, and I was actually accepted as an alternate, and I started the nursing program in fall 2024. But again, issues continued. So I passed my first semester of nursing school. However, it was by the grace of God, child, because I was dealing with a lot in my relationship at the time that was distracting me, just due to the emotional things I was going through, the changes, adjustments to stuff that was going on. But I did pass. My second semester, however, in spring 25, I did not pass either one of the classes I was taking. I failed, and I was devastated because I just knew they were about to kick me out of the program, because the policy at my community college, I don't know if this is across the board or if it's just, it just depends on the school, but the policy basically is, once you get in the nursing program, if you don't pass one class, you just retake it the following semester. Cool, no problem. But if you fail 2 classes, you have to drop out of the program and wait a full year before you can reapply, and you would have to start all the way over. Which is not fun. And I failed both classes. And I was devastated. I cried like a baby, and curled up into a ball. But if you do fail 2 classes, you can file for an appeal, which basically is just, you tell them what happened and what went wrong, what you're gonna do better. They kind of look over it with the committee, and they're like, okay, either yay or nay. Thank God I got a yay. So all I had to do was retake the 2 classes that I failed, and I could keep going from where I was. And going forward, I'm not gonna fail anything, okay? Because we're graduating next year, okay? We are graduating. We're graduating. We are graduating. We're not doing nothing less than that over here. So yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to say that to say that I want to make these videos for people that have gone through stuff like I have, and that didn't have like a straightforward journey when it comes to, nursing school, like from getting into college to the prereqs to being in the program, so on and so forth. And honestly, for any degree, because life happens, like regardless of who you are, your background, your status, your gender, your race, life happens to everybody. But I feel like it's important to show it all, if that makes sense. Like, it's not always sunshine and blue skies. There are cloudy days, there are thunderstorms, everything is not perfect. And when I have watched videos of people that didn't have like the easiest time, and they struggled, but they still achieved their goals, it really encourages me to keep going. So I want to do that for somebody else, because I've been through some stuff, and here I am still going, and I want to be somebody else's encouragement, the same encouragement I needed, the same encouragement that helped me, because I feel like it's so easy, like when you see people that are nurses now and they're flourishing, they're doing great, especially people that didn't fail a class and they kind of push straight through, and that's good for them. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, obviously it's good, but then I feel like that other side of it, people that didn't go straight through and have some troubles, it can kind of be discouraging, like, oh my God, like, so I want to show that, and I want to show my journey. So I'm gonna be posting like, some nursing stuff, like maybe some study with me's, maybe even talking about certain concepts, what you need to know, how to get in, how to boost your chances of getting in, kind of how to study, how to approach nursing school. I've learned a lot from my first nursing class to now about how to study better and kind of what to take advantage of and what to do. And I want to help people that are maybe struggling with that now, or people that are going into nursing school and kind of just want to get ahead of the game. So I want to do that. I will say I probably won't be recording much stuff in the classroom and at clinical, if I'm honest with you. Just because, I'll be seeing in videos on TikTok where people be recording at clinical or be recording at school, and then they ended up getting kicked out of their program. Like, I don't have time to be kicked out of nobody's program. So I will never record on the clinical site ever. And I probably won't record much of me at school. I mean, obviously, like if I'm in lecture, I'm not gonna be recording myself in lecture. It common sense stuff, you know what I mean? So nervous. But yeah, so there's that. And I may want to throw some like fitness, health stuff in there. Reason being is because honestly, health around the like board is important to me. Whether it's your spiritual health, whether you, they're called the 7 dimensions of health. Okay, I learned this like a long time ago when I was taking a health class at Central. There are 7 dimensions of wellness, and you know, you got to be well in all those areas to be well rounded, because when one is out of whack, it kind of throws off the other 6. So you know what I mean? It's like, so I believe in health like holistically, like spiritually, if you are a spiritual person, you know, physically, you know, emotionally and mentally, you know, career wise, like occupational wise, are you happy at work, you know, a healthy brain, a healthy mind, you know, healthy socials, you know, environments, your relationships, environment around you, like all of that's important, and it plays a role in how you feel and kind of the life you live. So I feel like it's important. I say that to say I may share some like health and fitness content, because I'm also on a health, I have some health goals of my own. I've gained a lot of weight in the last few years, and I'm trying to lose it and get rid of it so I can look how I used to look. So yeah, and my brother's helping me with that. Shout out to him. He's like the best trainer ever in the world. So I'm just saying. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I actually gotta go study right now, so I'm gonna go, but that's my little spiel. I hope y'all love it, and I hope this turns out to be okay. All right, that's it. Bye. I hope y'all love me. But sorry.